Hello, in this video I want to review a new application that was recently introduced. It's called FlowScape, and it is somewhat game. It's not truly game. It is application that help you create some landscapes, environmental sceneries, a very light footprint. It's based on a Unity game engine, so it does have some limitations how realistic it can look. It does not have some Vladimir other things what Unreal Engine will have it, but it does perform very well, and it's definitely worth it for you to check out. One thing before we begin, what is also impressive about this new application, it is pricing point. And you can purchase this on itch.io for about $10. You can have it on the Steam for about $15, a little bit more. And also on a Steam, it will be on the Windows version. On itch.io, you will have it Windows, Mac, and OS version. So it's up to you whether you platform you prefer to purchase. Personally, I like on itch because I can use it on the Mac as well in this case. When you launch first time application, you'll have a splash screen, and these screens will be changing based on the galleries that in currently reference. And you can see right here, you can click on gallery and see what other people was done. Some works is very impressive, and I saw what people do some with this, and it's really a very, very interesting tool for such a light print. First off, when you start, you can see right here I have it my 4K resolution set for my screen. Windows mode, high resolution. We also select your language. It's currently English, Chinese, Japanese. And next we'll just click Escape Reality. Right now FlowScape start initializing, so it's loading all assets, everything, and depending on the speed of your computer, that may take anywhere from a minute to 10-15 minutes. Okay, so we have it right here, beginner of FlowScape, and by default it will create one random generated terrain. You'll notice it is kind of like a squarish basic terrain, and okay, where's my mouse? Right here. And it's kind of interesting how it's growing. You can orbit around, and your key not totally standard like in 3D applications. Your middle button, it will pan around. You can use it right click to go from central point pin, or if you hold down Alt and select click with mouse and right click, you can go around a specific terrain. So it's kind of more Unity navigation, and mainly you can use a WSDE to pan around. It's like in a video game, you can walk around. Q and E will go up and down on keyboard. You also can use it numpad to move your camera around as well. Overall, if you first time open this application, I do was kind of nicely impressed by the small help. It's kind of going over application, and it's help you very fast kickstart to work on this. So let's go ahead. We'll go click clear all plans. We'll just start with the empty look and go over interface very fast. So beginning on top, you can see we have our home, some environment, help, and most of this, if you hold your mouse over, you can see the pop-up tooltip come up, so it's kind of nice. Let's go look on our home, and we'll have our usual new load save created. We can import it maps, we can export it, and we can also use it import as OBJ and other stuff, which is kind of a little bit not total straightforward. You need a special MTL file adjust, so on, but we'll look maybe someday when we go over the videos how to work with this application. Again, this is kind of very fast overview what this application can do and hopefully help you. So let's go next in our settings. You'll notice right here we have our camera settings and screenshot resolution. Usually you want to be on a high resolution if you want better textures, resolution, higher size, and so on. So we can do this after save 2 seconds, 2 minutes. So it's all very similar. Quality on the bottom, shadow distance, reflection, and so on. So you can adjust in your settings. The next one, help, is kind of what I found. It's very nice and helpful. When you open, you'll notice you have it very like almost Kickstarter for the application. And I have a lot of options. Navigations, how it's work, what it does, all sliders. I mean, it does not go in very deep on creation, but it is very good a start point for you. When you have any questions, you can go back and preview. Again, it's not very big, but it's very, very useful. And if you first time start with this application, I'm highly recommend to just go over those few screens and see how they work. Okay, so next we can go on the top, and this is how to work with populations. If you look, we have a distribution amount, size, how fast they're growing, and reasons why I say how the fast growing. So let's go select the plant, and you can see when I click and select one plant, it's not just appear, it's literally growing, which is kind of cool, fun things to see how it's doing. So it says size, and right here it's actually tell us we can specify the speed is object can grow. Next, we can specify what size we want of the object, variation of the sizes, lean, and if you are familiar with some 3D or other things, it's based on the normals positioning. So it's go how parallel or perpendicular going with the normals of the terrain. We also have it additional align terrain world. It's mostly when you place additional objects, drop object on the ground. We have it also precision generation if we need it. Some of these options, and you can see they're not very descriptive icons. You will know after you work for a little bit, but again, if you put your mouse over, hold for a little bit, it's actually tell you what it does. For example, in this case, toggle layers to paint, terrain, water. We also have additional options for rocks and water. Next one, it's animation. You can create as a person walk, and if you ever worked before with a Unity, you'll know it's very similar when it can create person, drop on the ground, and just walk inside. Of course, if we do right here, you can see we fall through the ground because no collision detection in this case. And if we go move our camera a little bit over here, we'll put our person drop in this case. Then we can actually stand and look and walk around the areas as well. So it's very, very similar to like almost video game. Notice as we get closer, because this is the photo textures, they're probably based on the photos, or maybe in some cases based on the substance or some other PBR type of materials. Okay, let's go move out of this one. You can see they're actually not bad, very high quality resolution on the texture, and I did not find how I can upload it my texture, but it's good collection already there. I say it's a lot of stuff for me to explore and find how this application work as well. Okay, next we have it animations. We have it our snaps. When we place it, we can rotate in how much we snap. The lighting, we can have it, of course, our snow layer. If you want to apply additional texture of the snow, that is going to on your plants and ground and so on. Okay, so this is necessary. It's not very complex. It's a simple way to start working. Notice right here when I open, I click on a plant, and this is actually quite a bit additional menus what we have here. First, of course, we have our transform tools, and you can notice if you go over, you can switch on transform between 1, 2, and 3, scale, rotate, move, rotate, scale. We also can set our pivot mode, center, and so on. So just click, move over it, will help you with a pop-up as well. If you click, you have it options, expandable menus with additional selections for the simple gizmo navigation stuff. We have it also eraser, which is straightforward. You can erase different type of terrains. There are a lot of them already pre-created, so you can open, and it's kind of, you can see that switch, you can create different type of terrains there. You can open adjustments, and right here we have it couple options, well, more than a couple options, but some ground 1, 2, and 3. This is overlay textures and ground 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's go ahead and just create one. You'll notice first, like those elements, let's go switch on the grass. This is, for example, first level. The mask is what creating those holes for the second ground. So right here, for example, if we switch, you can see we have our mask applied. Second ground, it is mask between those two grounds. So it's not very complex. It's very simple way to actually work with texture, but they are very effective to do what they're supposed to do. Okay, we also have a riverbed. If you have it water, it's on the bottom. So overall, you have it about 3 different texture type where you can manipulate with them, and plus masks that you can use it. And you know what? I don't know if I can apply it. I did not find any way to add my own mask. I hope it's some way you can do it, maybe even put in directory. So it is first look when I start working with this application, play around, and I'm glad I have way more to discover because I did enjoy in the beginning work with the application, and I hope it's way more complex to this. But I most likely expecting if you don't have a direct interface to put it masks or grounds materials in, most likely they reside in directory related to this application, so we can update them there. So below we have it optionals for the creating, of course, the global water, local water. Right here you can see we have it all this global water enable, and we have it also the water right there. We click and you can see riverbeds kind of apply this additional material. So let's go just switch, for example, to darker, and you can see right there applied. Of course, you can modify height of the terrain if we needed. Switch tiling for this terrain size. How I said before, you can increase. You can also sculpt. You can duplicate these terrains and place them around. Snow size. Sculpting, it's just very interesting way. You can go up and down, similar things. If you hold down shift, you can go down to create. So you have it very primitive up on the z-axis, up and down. So no overhanging cliffs, nothing, because it's a very simple high field terrain that based on a white top and black lower points. If you're familiar with like World Machine, World Creator, and so on, you just no overhanging, not real 3D meshes. It's only 2D in a high altitude what it produce. So also you can have it paint with a different type of the texture, and you can see right here. Let's go paint. So it's kind of nice because, how I say, right here you have it limited to the 3, but with this you can maybe add something more. We also have it water and land and so on, additional options. Probably best way to learn is just going to experiment. How I say, it's a simplicity in this. It's a huge plus because with that case, you don't need it study too much. You can really open and start playing around. And that's what I found for me was most interesting. I don't need it worried about open manual and reading pages and pages how the application can work. I can simply just open this application, go through that first tutorial from this how this application work, and enjoy and have a lot of fun doing this. Okay, so let's go ahead, create just to replace this terrain with 1, and of course we have our randomization if we need it. We can play around with the random. Okay, next you'll notice we have it plants, and overall they about same. We have it tree plants, okay, broadleaf, the pine trees and so on, all is different, larger, I will say, objects. We have it bushes type, flowers, grass, separate objects like rocks, clouds, and some of those rocks actually are not necessarily small. It's like generic objects. Oh, by the way, sorry, going back, but interesting things about this, you can notice we also have a turtle here and a flat map, book, so something a little bit more different than just flat terrain. And of course, with object, we can apply that to our element. So you'll notice if you have, for example, select the rocks, we can start putting single rocks. Okay, they can go on top of the element and grow so on. Okay, let's go click right here. We can readjusting. Okay. We also have it. Some rocks will grow, depend how you have it. They're all predefined internally. Some mechanics, I wish it was different ways how I can select them, but I can put it right there. Let's go. And one thing, what's happening when you place it around. Okay, if you don't like it, right click it to remove it. It's kind of a nice, fun way to create. You know what? Let me erase all of that stuff that I put it in. Okay, next we have an object with a buildings, and as I said before, you can import your own OBJ inside the inside this application. You can put it your own OBJ, and I don't know if they will. I don't think they will appear here when you import them. I wish it was a way to add additional library, straightforward, kind of from maybe home or something, that I can link some of my object from Unity. And again, this is Unity based environment, so I have a lot of Unity assets because I'm still kind of make games in Unity. And then I wish there was a way to take some of those libraries of your Unity and link here so you can place it more interesting. But it still be working very interesting this way. You also have it animals, and one thing nice about all these animals that if you place it, you notice they're actually animated. So they move it. They sometimes a little bit funny positioning, but they're all pre-animated. They're all kind of moving around, which is very nice. Same for the flowers, and you can see when you placed flowers and let them grow, they will be affected by the gust and wind, so there will be animations going around there as well. Next we have our ocean, and this is applied to global water. So let's go enable, and you can see right here we have our ocean, where we can have it wave speed, how this is going. Notice also, as soon when I enable, we have it the sound effect, and this is first time I did not expect this, and I was very nicely impressed by this. And that apply not just the ocean, this will also apply to different environment as well. Okay, so let's go ahead, turn off our ocean. And what I say about this environment, it is our cloud atmosphere presets. Again, I did not find the way from interface how I can load it my own HDR images 360. It will be nice if I can do this, and hopefully that maybe will be in the future releases. This application was actively developed till about 2000. Right now, a little bit in a hold, and rumors, again, I'm not saying straight, but rumors that creator maybe come back and work a little bit more. Will be nice if he maybe have it kind of open the source with somebody else to keep this project going, because it is very, very good idea, very interesting object, and I really want to see this object continue to grow and add a little bit more stuff to this. So it's hopefully, how to say, I wish that what will happen to that. Okay, let's go next. We'll look on type of atmospheres, and you can see right here, this is just atmospheres at ground. This one would have some ground applied to this, so it's more like a 360 images HDR. You would apply it in included sky. You can apply the rotation of the sky, lighting, and so on. Okay, let's go next is our preset, and this is more environmental preset, where we can apply sun, moon, directions of the lighting coming through, how high, so it's altitude and the positioning, intensity of the brightness. We'll have our temperature on a coloring from warm to cold, and so on. Sunshine, lens flare if we applied anything, optional sky effect, for example, like aurora or rainbow, and so on. We can rotate obviously our sky here or in another area. Ambient light, so this is quite a bit effect that can be applied, which in some examples people was very creative and used very cool stuff with this. You have all of this saturation, vignetting, blooming when it's applied with color effect can create some magical some kind of look, and so on. After focus, I found the focal distance and after focus still be kind of work little bit funky, because if you take aperture low, so we have it focus element, and we can just play with focus distance. You can see it is kind of hard to approve it. Again, I still love to explore in this application, but I found the autofocus did not necessarily work well. Normal manual focus with aperture all the way open does not work as well as I hope it is. Next, we have our sound, and this is very interesting because you can actually enable playing music, and you can have an arrow key to go to different tracks to play it. I need to look where's library for the sounds located, because it probably, if it's Unity, it's probably in directory. I need to go more closer look on the structure of directory, so we can do this. We have its sound and environmental sounds that applied. Some of these environmental sounds will also have particle effects. For example, if we go on the snow, you can see right here we have snow and particle effects. You can apply some of those particle effects inside when you're creating. For example, let's go right here in animals. I think, yep, we have it like butterflies. You can add a bunch of butterflies as a separate particle. But if we're going in a sound, right here, it's not just in some case sound, but in some cases we have it effect, like for example lighting. Let's go look, and you can see the flashing happen on lighting. And this is work very well if you have it pre-animation and you want to save as animation for your work. Next, you can have it, of course, snapshot of the image that you just created. Yeah, additional things I want to point to you, it is we look when you can create it, but a little bit more to this, because for example, if we're going inside the map, we actually can creating a map like a hexagon, grid, or other things, and what it does is will create for us a look like a map, maybe on a video games or other things we can create. For example, I take some resolution, grid, hex, and for some reason I'm a little bit out of focus on this one. Probably some of the settings that I set inside the here camera. Let's select focal distance. I think something right there selecting. Again, let's go open aperture all the way down. That is probably what's happening with our map. Okay, let's go to remove. Yep, right there we can see open aperture. Let's go to ortho. There you go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so you can see like map from top down. This is nice because you can preset your grids if you need it. Take a picture of them. Let's go make zoom, increase opacity, and maybe make for your the game. If you're creating some game and you can create maps. So some interesting options here to create. Overall, I think this is way worth that price, $10, because you can create a lot of interesting environmental things. You can play around a lot with even placing trees, have it kind of fun. And I'm seriously looking forward to work with this application to create it kind of interesting look, discover more about what this can do. Thank you for watching this video. And if you're interested in this application, I will highly recommend for you to go and check out. It's relatively inexpensive, $10 if you're going on h.io. Just check for the FlowScape, or if you have Steam and you prefer using Steam, same, just check for the FlowScape and get your from that application. Also, you can see how impressive some of those examples, and from me playing a little bit around, it's actually not that difficult to do. It's relatively very simple, game-alike style with a very direct, very fast result that you can preview as you're working alone. So I'm looking forward to create more videos, more kind of experimenting and creating in this environment. So we'll see what that will bring to us. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe on YouTube channel. Click those notification icon to see when these new videos are released. Thank you for your time.